What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the For the Good podcast.
We're so glad you're here.
Our mission is to reach the next generation by encouraging you using God's word.
We cover topics like Christian dating. God does not want someone to come to him because of a person.
Finding your godly spouse. That's how God works in relationships.
Following God's will for your life.
We think that we should be omniscient with God and staying close to God when the world tempts you. Or it can be worshiping the right God in the wrong way. Romans 8:28 says,
And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose.
This podcast is for God's good and to grow his kingdom.
Our prayer is that this ministry provides you with a healthy Christian community that you can be a part of.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the For the Good podcast.
Yep, we got a lot of updates today. To start, I want to say coaching still available. Michelle and I crushing it, running it, finessing a little bit. Actually, no, we're not finessing. Finessing is stealing. Never mind, cut that.
Okay.
No. But if y'all are interested in fitness coaching, Michelle and I accepting some clients. So if y'all want to get in shape, do that. If y'all want more information, go to betterthanbeforebrand.com. That is www.betterthanbeforebrand. I hate when people have ads like that when they say the website like 16 times.
Yeah.
No, but if y'all want more information, the link for everything's down in the description below. The questions that you have, pricing, what's included, stuff like that, it's all on my website. So that's the thing. And we're pregnant. There was other stuff. There were other updates that I wanted to say, but honestly, I kind of, I blanked.
Yeah. No, the coaching's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then we are in contact with someone about clothing, so that might be a little bit, but stay tuned for that. Some merch for the Good and what was the other one? We're doing For the Good and Hi Honey.
Yeah, and Hi Honey.
Yeah. It's just fun.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on in that department.
We have a lot of life changes now that we have to take into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all are probably like, wait, what the? We're over here talking about merch and stuff, and they're like, wait a second. Y'all are...
Elephant in the room is now finally out, and let me tell you, it feels so freeing to have this information out. I am not even kidding. I have felt like I've been keeping the biggest secret, and I've just wanted to tell people, not for any other reason other than to just be like, this is what's going on. Like, if something's off, this is why.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like when we got married, I was like, I had a list of things that I was going to do, like content wise and things that I wanted to pursue. And the coaching was one of them, which thankfully I've been able to do that. But like, it's been difficult not just being able to tell people like, hey, I had all these plans and I'm not making content a lot. I'm not doing all these things because I've literally been sick for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So we're going to try and answer all the questions we think y'all might have.
Yeah.
So that's what this episode's about. So if y'all don't care about baby growing in Michelle's uterus, then this episode's probably not for you. Yeah. But if y'all want a fun, laid-back episode where
we just talk about our lives.
We talk about our lives, about how we met, got engaged, married, and pregnant in 11 months, then here you go. Maybe it's going to be encouraging to someone.
Yeah.
So first, let's start out with the story.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
Yeah. So
a lot of stuff happening down the female department once we got married, and take it away, honey. We're going to get down to the nitty and gritty. I mean...
You want to talk about the urgent care visit?
Just everything.
Is that where you want me to start, and then we'll back up?
Yes, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll back up.
Hold on.
Start with the urgent care visit, and then we'll backtrack a little bit. Also, if y'all don't like graphic stuff, maybe this episode's not for you either.
Well,
Michelle and I just don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah,
so
it won't be that graphic. I mean, it's what we talked about in our first episode back, but now we can actually give more context. So
yeah, okay. Actually, I want to say one thing right here. So we've known about this pregnancy for a while. We knew we were pregnant on our first episode back this season. Sorry, guys, but we did.
Yeah.
And
it's just, okay, the reason, we can explain a little bit. The reason why we didn't say anything right away, which if anything would have happened, we would have told you guys anyways, because we're just very transparent, and I don't want to hide things that have happened in our lives when it could help people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if something were to happen in this pregnancy, like, we're going to share about it, and we're going to explain, like, hey, this is how God has gotten us through it. This is how we haven't lost faith in him. This happened, like, so we would have told you guys anyways, but the reason why we waited until now is because literally today, filming this, we just got out, I just got out of the first trimester. So the chance of miscarriage went down below like 3%.
Yeah.
So
it's like 2.7 or something.
It's very, I did the math. It's literally 1 out of 30 something women.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a really good chance that we're good. And today we heard a lot of good news about like the baby's doing really well. I'm doing really well. Everything came back normal in all my tests. So that's why
it pays off to work out and eat healthy, ladies.
It really does.
Just saying.
And we can talk about that.
Yeah,
too.
we can talk about that. This is going to be a loaded episode.
This is
just to let y'all know. We can talk about how it all happened, story time.
Yeah.
Then we're probably going to get into a little bit of how our relationship is because of that.
Yeah.
And then we can talk a little about health.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Story time.
Yeah. So if you guys watched the first episode back, then you heard the story about what happened when we got back from our honeymoon. So your girl had a UTI and
yuck. Ew.
That's
seriously gross.
We were on our honeymoon. There was a lot going on. We were in the ocean. It could have been like a multitude of things, combination of everything. My body was just like, what's going on? Okay. So we come back and I don't feel well. I take some medicine, and when we were dropping my mom off to the airport, I got really sharp pain in my back, and I literally thought it was my kidneys, because it can go into your kidneys and cause, because they're connected, if you didn't know, your bladder and your kidneys. So I was like really worried that it turned into something worse. So we were going to go to the doctor. We called his future sister-in-law, who's going to school to be a nurse practitioner. So she's very well versed in this kind of stuff. So we asked her, and she said, if it continues, go to the hospital in the morning, not the hospital, but like an urgent care in the morning. We put it off for like 2 days because I started to feel better.
Yeah.
And come Wednesday in the middle of the night, I got up to go to the bathroom and it started hurting again. And I was like, okay, we just need to go to the doctor. So we went to the doctor on Thursday morning. Side note, I made a joke on the way to the doctor. Watch us find out we're pregnant in urgent care. Because I was actually a day late for my period. So I was supposed to start on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the next day and I'm never late. Yeah. I'm sometimes like a day late, but like my periods are very regular. So,
and let's just say this. Michelle was very much wanting to be the wife that peed on the stick and surprised me on my nightstand.
Yes.
That's why she made that joke, just to let everyone know.
I was like, watch this happen. Yeah. Yeah, because we've talked about it, and you even made a comment, and you were like, are you going to do something special to like surprise me when it does happen, And I truly didn't think we were, and we'll get into that later when we go into detail. Well, not detail, but like when we explain what happened.
We're going to say everything.
No. Anyways, so we go into the doctor. They test me for the UTI to see if it's still there, whatever. The lady, I come out of the bathroom, I give the lady my cup, and she goes, do you want me to do a pregnancy test? And I was like, you know what? Go ahead. I was like, there's no way I am.
They weren't going to charge us for it, so we were like, sure.
Yeah, it's just an extra step. You just stick an extra stick in there.
Yeah.
I was like, you got it. You might as well. Sure, go ahead. I said, I don't think I am. Literally out loud. I said, I don't think I am, but you can go ahead and do that. So I go back into the room. We wait for the doctor. The doctor comes in and goes, Okay, so yeah, it came back. You have a UTI. We got to give you an antibiotic. But also, the pregnancy test came back positive.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I said, are you joking?
Yeah.
You want to explain his?
This is what he goes. No, ma'am, I'm completely serious.
No, I think I insulted him.
Yeah.
I really, truly did.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure that's happened before, and he's had to give or like calm girls down,
Yeah.
like I wasn't scared or nervous or anything like
Yeah.
that. In the moment, I was just like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah.
I just didn't believe him.
Yeah.
So in that moment, Asher believed him. We left. He was like, you're pregnant. I ended up getting a blood test, and I was like, that's how I'll know, because, it could have been a false positive. I don't know how that works. So I was like, whatever. I need to know that I actually am. So we sent out my blood, and we went home in shock.
Yeah. In the urgent care, because people are probably like, what did y'all think?
Yeah.
In the urgent care, Michelle started crying. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dang, this is pretty cool. That's about it. People, I was emotional at our wedding. I'm emotional when it comes to Jesus. But having a kid, I don't know. I just haven't really been that emotional. Mm-hmm. I've been more so along the lines of like, I'm just I'm very excited. But it's hard. We'll get into this later. But it's difficult for a man to express the pregnancy of his wife because he isn't carrying the baby.
Yeah.
And it's we'll get into this a little bit later, but it's a little bit different than people may expect when having, especially their first kid, because we don't know how the heck this thing's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the urgent care, people are like, what was your first thought? Well, my first thought was, oh, cool, I get another best friend. That was my first thought. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, oh, shoot, I better save up money, or it wasn't, oh, crap, we did this too soon. Mm-hmm. My mind didn't go there. My mind went to, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And for context, when Asher proposed to me, literally while he was proposing to me, he said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you and for you to have my babis.
That was in my proposal. Yeah.
So this is something that we want. Yeah. It's not like unwanted at all, in fact, but we'll go more into detail about all of that. So the reason why I didn't truly believe that we were is because, and for everyone wondering, we know when it happened.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, the people that we've told, because we've told like close friends and family, and the people that we've told have been like, oh, a honeymoon baby. No, this was a wedding night baby.
Yeah, it was the first time we had sex, and Michelle cried.
Literally, I was my body was shaking. Yeah. I was crying so much.
I thought I did something wrong.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a painful cry. It was I knew something happened.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, I just felt different. And at first I thought it was because we were connecting on a whole new level. And
Which we were.
And we were married, and it just felt right.
Yeah. Which we were. We're not going to discount that.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of bit of that, too.
It was a lot of that. But I also just after I literally told you, something just happened. Mm-hmm. That was the only time we could have gotten pregnant. Just for context, that was the only time that would have happened, because after that and the rest of our honeymoon, there was no way we could have gotten pregnant. You probably are picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. That was the only time it could have happened. Now, with me saying this, I am sorry for the women watching this that have tried for a really long time and haven't been able to do this, because that's something that was really hard for me when I first got pregnant, when I first found out and everything. Cause I was like, wow, it was one time on our wedding night. Mm-hmm. And I literally got pregnant from it. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like I'm excited. I'm glad that my body's functioning. Thank the Lord that my body's functioning, because that's something that I've been really scared of, and I've actually journaled about, and I went through a phase where I thought I had PCOS. I don't know why. Everything was regular. I was just terrified because it's talked about so much now that women have such a hard time. So it was just a fear in my head. I was like, that's the last thing that I want to go through. So when this happened, I was like, wow, okay, my best friend told me the day of our wedding, it's really easy to get pregnant. She wasn't kidding. Here we are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, here we are.
So yeah, that's why it was really shocking, because it wasn't like we tried 5 days in a row, so it could have been any of those days. It was like we literally know when it happened. Mm-hmm. And it was really special because it was on our wedding night. And we talked about waiting a year to start trying. And in that moment, we were just connecting, and we let that happen, and we ended up pregnant. So we're not upset at all. And we're really thankful that the Lord blessed us with a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I want to stress that Michelle was not in her ovulation period when supposedly.
Well, okay.
That's what
let me explain that part, because it's a little confusing. So, as we're filming this, which this is going to come out in a week from when we're filming this. So when this comes out, I will be 13 weeks pregnant. Okay. For everyone that's going to try to sit down and do the calendar math, it does not start at the day of conception.
Yeah.
So it starts from the first day of your last period. And mine was March 20th. Our wedding was on April 5th. So that was technically the last day or the day after the last day of ovulation. Everyone's body is different. Mm-hmm. So your fertile window is literally the first 3 days of ovulation. After that, it kind of dwindles out. So there was a low chance of me getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Online, what we read from doctors, it was 1 to 10% chance. Mm-hmm. And Michelle and I were like, well, first time, I'll roll the dice. And if something happens, well, at least we're on the same page about it. We posted a video on Instagram it was probably like a month and a half ago now.
We already knew we were pregnant.
Yeah, it was a video about like, when are we going to have kids? We already knew we were pregnant. And I was like, well, whenever it happens, it happens. Whenever Michelle and I do interviews in the gym, they usually do very well. And there's usually a lot of people that get triggered. So, you get the people that say, oh, you're going to have kids in this economy, or you're going to birth kids into this cruel world, or you've only been married for this and this. You're already talking about kids. Like, enjoy your life and this and that. And it's like, dude, it's really, it comes down to how you see the world in perspective. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to look at kids as some rotten, terrible people that are going to ruin your life, well, then you're talking about yourself because you were once a kid.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if you're going to say kids are terrible, they're going to ruin your life, you're probably saying that because you ruined your parents' life. Mm-hmm. Or you're surrounded by people who don't know how to treat their kids correctly.
Yeah. This was like I said, this is way sooner than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
And if we would have had it our way, we were going to start trying literally a year after we were married.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to enjoy the first year of marriage. But I told Asher, I think in my mind, this is how I perceive it, and he may perceive it differently. But like for me, it was like, I think the Lord might be protecting us from the way that we would have spent our lives for this year. Mm-hmm. Because once you find out that you're having a baby, everything changes.
Yeah.
Your decisions financially change. Your life decisions change. Like what you're doing for an occupation might change. Like everything changes.
Yeah.
And I truly think that this might be a little bit of protection, because we are now living on 2 incomes, not just our own individually. And we're saving money with rent right now because we live in a really small 1-bedroom apartment. Mm-hmm. So there's like many things like we would have excess, but now it's like, okay, we need to save up for this. We need to get this for the baby. We need to look at renting a decent sized house so that we have room. Like there's just so many decisions to make. Like the second you find out you're having a baby, it's not like, oh yay, I can't, like, this is perfect. 9 months, here we go. Well, technically the baby's only in your belly for 38 because of what I just said. So you're 2 weeks pregnant when you get pregnant.
Yeah.
Weird how it works. I didn't even know that until I found out, because I was going off of my day at conception. Mm-hmm. And then we went into the doctor and they were like, no, you're 4 weeks. And I was like, how does that work? I got pregnant 2 weeks ago. So, but my mind wasn't, oh, I can't wait for December to come, which also we're due on Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is literally crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know the chances of getting pregnant on your wedding night and literally having your due date as Christmas Day, the day that we celebrate Jesus' birthday. Don't know how that happens.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's just another God thing. But it's been a really special journey for the two of us trying to
I know
just
we're going to get some
navigate.
Bible thumpers in the comments saying, oh, December 25th isn't his birthday.
Yeah.
We understand that.
That's what I just said. It's the day that we observe for his birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep praying that they're born on Christmas. So we'll see. And we don't know the gender yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we might, in this episode, we might say he, just because
as a gender neutral pronoun.
Well,
because we don't want to say, I mean, that's why we call God he.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a gender, but he is a being.
Yeah.
It's the only gender neutral pronoun that is a being.
Yeah.
So,
it's just been the most natural to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, during the ultrasound today, he was moving a lot. And we were like, oh, yeah, he's squirming all over the place in there. You know, it just comes out natural. So we'll see if it is a boy or a girl. You never know. We'll have to find out here in like a month.
Yeah.
And a half is when we're gonna go get tested early so that we can celebrate with some people. But yeah, so that's how it happened. That's when we're due, and that's where we're at. So now we'll talk about just telling people.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, we told our close friends and family early on, so that we could have support and prayers, and anything can happen in the first trimester. So we just wanted a lot of support around us. So
yeah. So when we went to tell people, Michelle and I have completely different sides. I will be honest on this one. For me, it's always been a little bit more challenging to tell people certain stuff. So as y'all know, it was a little bit harder for me to tell people I'm getting married to Michelle because we only knew each other for a couple months. And I was like, yep, she's the love of my life. I'm going to marry her.
yeah.
So I got a lot of advice I didn't care about. I got a lot of, oh, are you sure? I got a lot of, you're making this decision too fast. Are you sure? Blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of crap that I just didn't want to hear. And that may come off as like, sounds like you have a hardened heart. Well, this is all coming from people who don't have good marriages, aren't married, or maybe in terrible relationships of their own. Mm-hmm. So it's different when that plays a factor as well.
Yeah.
So me knowing that I am the first one out of my friend group and in my family to not only got married, but also having our first kid, it's a little bit weird because also men and women take things completely different. You can go up to a random woman on the side of the street and say, we're having a kid. And they're going to be like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
They'll start feeling my belly.
Yeah. Men aren't like that.
Yeah.
Men go immediately towards solving the problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of men think that kids are a problem. So what does their mind go to? Money. Have you thought about this? Have you done this? Whatever it may be. So, me telling, not all of my friends, majority of my friends were extremely happy for me. And they're like, wow, dude, you're actually going to be a dad. That's crazy. And, saying that out loud, it is kind of crazy that I'm never going to be just a man anymore. I'm going to be a dad. So it is kind of crazy because it's never going to be reverted back. Once you have one kid, you're never not a dad. That's something that Michelle and I talked about. So I actually get to celebrate Father's Day.
Yay!
Shout out.
Well, we're filming this before Father's Day.
Yeah.
But so you will celebrate, or we would have celebrated when this comes out. But yeah.
Wait, we celebrated Mother's Day. Well, we didn't really because it was so early on.
Yeah.
But next year.
Yeah, the baby will actually be here.
Yeah, next year. So yeah, when I would tell people, man, it's just so weird because you know when you're about to tell someone like a secret and you don't know how the outcome's going to be, so you have a bunch of adrenaline going?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was with basically every single friend that I told, because I was like, I wonder how they're going to take it. And I want to say one more thing too, because people listening to this or watching it probably are thinking this one thing. Well, why do you care about their opinion? Well, when you're best friends with someone for a very long time, you want their support.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you get nervous when you tell people these big things, because you
Yeah.
don't know how they're going to take it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to say, just don't worry about their opinion, man.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We had this conversation at church the other night. We were talking about fears.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, what you don't want to do when someone is scared of something is say, well, I did it. Why can't you?
Mm-hmm.
The best thing to do is sit with them
Mm-hmm.
and wait until they're ready to explain whatever they're facing or ready to take that next step. He did a great example of his son jumping into the pool.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped into the pool. The dad jumped into the pool 100 times, trying to be an example for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid did not jump in because him just being that example didn't change the fear that he had, because he hasn't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what did his dad do? His dad stood there in the deep end with his arms like this, and he said, whenever you're ready, you can jump. And the kid jumped. And that's the best way to sit with someone when they are fearful of something. Saying, well, I did it. Why can't you do it? You're not helping anyone. Honestly, you're coming off as a prideful jerk. So that's why I was a little bit afraid of telling people, because ever since Michelle and I got together, I have been rejected my whole life, it feels like. And I didn't want to be rejected on having a new life come into this world that I'm very excited about. So that's why I was scared about it. And to tell you the truth, I wish I didn't have that fear. But, you know, it's not as easy as it may seem. Like, fears don't go away instantly. They always creep around. So, yeah, that's kind of my end of me telling people is a little bit difficult. And there were some people, women-wise, that I know have been trying to have kids, and they haven't been able to. And they said they've been trying, and I felt for them. So it was hard for me to tell them we're having a kid, because they knew our story, how we just got married and everything. I mean, that would make me feel like crap if I was a woman.
Yeah.
I'll relate a story to you guys. The ACT and SAT. I studied my butt off for that test. And went to classes. My mom paid for tutoring. I don't even want to get into testing. ACT means absolutely nothing. All right, so I don't even know why it's a thing, but
yeah, I didn't even use mine in college.
yeah, I had to get a 21 to get a scholarship for this college I was trying to go to, or have a 3.0 GPA. Luckily, I had a 3.0, so I passed. Well, until I failed college. So I lost the scholarship. Anyways, doesn't matter. I can relate it to that. So I went through all these classes, tried everything, and my final score for all of my years of taking the ACT was a 20. Nothing would piss me off more when someone said, yeah, I took it once and got a 28. And these people have like 2.0 GPAs.
Yeah.
Like, people that don't do their homework,
Yeah.
people that didn't do well on just regular tests,
Yeah.
skip school, smoke weed in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, I mean, I have to take it, and I got a 28.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom's spending money for me to go get a tutor. I'm having to cut out other activities for me to study, and you didn't even study. You went in here, Christmas treed the dang thing, and got a 28. And so when I was telling these women, you know, that are in my life, hey, we're pregnant, and they're like, didn't you just celebrate 2 months of being married? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would have been they've over here been trying for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, imagine how they feel. So that was a whole nother side of it's like, crap. I don't know. This is going to be hard for me to tell them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my side of the story about telling people. But I just want to lay all that out. 98% of the people I told, 100%, so happy for you. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, honey.
Yeah. I had a different experience.
Yeah. Michelle always has a different experience.
The people in my life are just really supportive and never have really questioned me. So, in fact, my sister told me that she had a dream I was pregnant when we told her, which was crazy. Mm-hmm. My mom was over the moon. She can't wait to have more grandbabies.
Yeah.
And
Mom's over here wanting to buy a house in Texas now. And we're like, all right, Mom, we get it.
Yeah.
You want to come?
Yeah. She's really, really supportive and she's really excited. So, that was really nice. And then the 2 girls that were in my wedding, my 2 best friends, I called them and one of them said, I knew it. And the other one said, I had a feeling.
No. One of them said, shut up.
Well, and then she said,
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, she said, stop. Because then she's, you're talking about Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michaela said, shut up. And then she said, I knew it.
Yeah.
And then Kaylee started crying. And then she was like,
Yeah,
I had a
Kaylee
feeling.
lost it immediately. That
Yeah.
was the funniest reaction we got.
Yeah.
Besides our friends that
Yeah.
we had at our table,
Yeah.
Kaylee was the funniest because she was like, now I'm
going to start
Yeah.
crying. Yeah, it was really sweet.
Yeah.
But seeing them just be excited for us, and I was texting them today, and they're just both over the moon, excited, and it's just been really nice. My family's been really supportive. Dad's also really excited. My brother's really excited. I have cousins here, and one, the girl, well, she's technically my cousin-in-law, but she's my cousin.
She's my cousin too.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
She is actually due in October.
Mm-hmm.
So I am due 2 months after her. So that'll be fun because they'll be little best friends.
Yeah.
Growing up close to each other. That's another reason why I want it to be a boy, because she's having a boy.
Because she's having a boy.
And
yeah.
Michaela has a boy.
Yeah.
It's going to be drama filled if we have a girl, because she's going to be closest in age with them. And
I'll
when
tell
they
you
get
one
older,
thing. Yeah.
so much drama.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing. Ridge Baby is going to be all over our kid. I'm not kidding. If we have a girl.
Yeah. Alyssa and Tyler's baby cannot.
Well, yeah. I
That's
mean,
family.
that's family. Yeah. That's why I didn't say them.
But yeah.
No, Ridge. Oh, yeah. Who have the eyes out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to Adam about that one. Hey, get your kid in check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious
What?
if we had a girl and then like
That's
Michaela's son and
Yeah.
our daughter started dating when they were like way in the future?
No, honey, that's what I've thought about. But then I've also thought about, I want them to have the best friendship that me and Michaela have. So that's why I want to have a boy.
Oh.
Because Michaela and I were born 2 months apart and we were best friends.
You're talking about for Alyssa and Alyssa's and Tyler's
No,
kid.
I'm talking about Michaela.
But Ridge is going to be like 2.
That's fine. Once you get older, you don't really notice a difference.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Kaylee's 4 years younger than me. We're
Yeah.
best friends. It doesn't really matter. But anyways, yeah. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I had a lot of support on my end, and it was just really nice being able to tell everyone. My coworkers are excited. Had to tell them kind of early because I've been not feeling well. So we can talk a little bit about what your girl's gone through the first trimester.
Yeah, well, I want to say real quick, it's not that I didn't have support, guys.
Yeah. No. Everyone was excited.
Everyone
they
was
said, no
very-
way, that's crazy.
Yeah.
One of your friends said, I had a feeling.
Yeah, everyone was
So-
extremely excited. There was only just a few that were more so along the lines of,
Wow,
like,
it's early.
yeah, wow, it's early / like concerned.
Yeah.
And again,
Like, is this what you wanted?
this is how men think.
Yeah.
They think
Yeah.
problem, solution.
Yeah.
You know, they don't think of wow,
Yeah.
I'm going to start crying because this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, pull a Kaylee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. No, that's so true. And I also want to make a point of this because we got asked to go on a Bible study, which was amazing. And one of the questions was, how do you think someone can know that they're ready to get married?
Oh, yeah.
Or it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
It got brought up when we were talking about relationships. And my response was, I don't think anyone's ready.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready for anything. That's the whole point of trusting God, right? So we weren't ready to get married. We got married and we're navigating marriage. And it's been amazing. And it's been beautiful relying on God for the whole thing. Same with the child.
Yeah.
Right? We weren't ready to get pregnant. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the timing.
Yeah.
In a year, we still would have been like, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Like, even if we would have planned it and would have tried, I still wouldn't be ready.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just leaning on his spirit this whole time.
Yeah. I think it really comes down to you just asking different questions. Mm-hmm. Am I ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what if the day comes and then it goes terribly?
Yeah.
Then you're going to second guess yourself. Maybe I wasn't ready.
Right.
So you put an unhealthy mindset towards it. So a different question is, let me say it like this. For marriage, do I trust God enough for this to be my partner? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, when you trust God, if you've been trusting God for a while, you know that life still stinks.
Yeah. And it's really difficult.
Yeah, and it's, let me say it like this. Just because you trust God doesn't mean that your life isn't going to suck at sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay? And so when it comes to this baby, I got this a lot. Are you ready? And I said, well, of course not. They're like, what? You're not ready? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, no, dude. But there's two things I know. I trust God and I trust my partner. Mm-hmm. And that's the question. Mm-hmm. Is when you get married, do I trust God? Okay. And also, do I trust my partner for whatever happens in the future?
Yeah.
Because you're not saying I do on that day for that day only. Mm-hmm. You're saying I do for the rest of your whole entire life ever.
Yeah.
So you saying that, you need to be able to trust that person with whatever curveball you get thrown. Mm-hmm. And us being pregnant and less than a year of us knowing each other, I think it's pretty ridiculous for people to say, oh yeah, that's normal. No, it's not. Yeah. That's called a curveball.
Yeah.
And Michelle and I trust each other enough to get through this together. Yeah. And it's very important to ask yourself the right questions. And again, you can disagree with us. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Michelle and I, if we were to ask, are we ready? We would have a lot of unhealthy, I don't know how to, just unhealthy mindsets with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, were you ready to start taking on clients?
No.
I don't know.
I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
However, do you trust your instincts enough to coach these women in the right direction? Mm-hmm. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, are we ready to get a house? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, rent's going to go up by $800 when we get a house. I mean, can we afford it? Sure.
Or $1,000.
Yeah. I mean, can we afford it? I guess. But are we ready? I don't know. I trust God that that's where he's leading us. Mm-hmm. And if crap hits the fan, then we're going to have to navigate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but it's not that we weren't ready, because that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah. I also want to go back to what you said about like trusting each other. And we talked about this in the car a little bit on the way back from the gym today. But this is why we're so passionate about talking about relationships and dating when you're a believer. And it's just something that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. But this is why it's so important to choose the right person. Because the moment we found out and I was like, we're having a baby, it wasn't, oh crap, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Or do I trust this man to be the father of this child?
Yeah.
none of that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
It was, I cannot wait to raise this baby with this man.
Yeah.
Like it was it's nerve-wracking when you first find out that you're pregnant. Okay. I feel like that's inevitable because you're like, holy cow, there's literally a child growing inside me.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of responsibility as a woman when you find out, because you're like, hold on, I am this child's home for 9 months. Like,
yeah. You're like, I'm this child's home. And I thought I was still a child.
Yeah, no, literally. It's so funny because every time we go into the doctor, I'm like, are they judging me? Do they think I'm too young? And then it's like, look at my birthday. I'm going to be 27 when I give birth to this baby. Mm-hmm. That's not young. My mom was 27, I think, she was 29 when she had her first one. But anyways, this is why it's so important to choose the right person.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, if I would have gone with what I like to say lust, like lusting after someone you're in a relationship with and you stay with them just because you're attracted to them and you think it's it, right? And you're not in your right mindset of like actually choosing a husband. You're choosing a boyfriend that you're attracted to. And that's not how I felt with you. When we first started dating, obviously I'm attracted to you. You're extremely handsome.
Honey.
And I hit the lottery. But at the same time, I could see you being the father of my kids. Mm-hmm. And I trusted you. And we built a connection off of the Lord and without any distractions of being physically intimate. So I was so clear-minded that once we found out we were pregnant, I wasn't like, oh, this sucks. Like, no, it was, I'm so excited because I literally chose this man. We got married and now I get the blessing of carrying his baby, all of his babies.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're young and you're listening to this and you're like, I'm dating this guy and I'm unsure. If you're unsure, please don't be with them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there wasn't any doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
It was the same with me giving my life to Jesus. I wasn't doubtful if Jesus was real or not. Yeah. I put my full trust in him and I've always believed in him. I gave him my heart 2.5 years ago. You know, like there was no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. If someone point blank asked me, deny Jesus or I'm going to kill you, I'm not going to deny him. Go ahead. I know where I'm going. Yeah. You know, like there wasn't any doubt in this relationship, which is why I'm so confident about having a baby with you, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to talk about the first trimester?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So, the first thing I want to say is this is my experience. This is not everyone's experience. I have heard a lot of other things from just the internet and other women being pregnant. And this is what I experienced, which was something different than what I've heard. So,
and this is also my experience.
Yeah.
So husbands, don't come at me saying that you suck or whatever. Get over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about my experience too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
So the first trimester was not at all what I expected. I thought that the second I found out I was pregnant, that I would be on cloud 9 and just feeling like I was floating, literally. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was going to be an outer body experience and just, I've heard so many women say I loved being pregnant. Like there's a lot of women that haven't gotten sick and they've just been pregnant and enjoyed it, right? That was not me.
Yeah.
So the first couple weeks were me being really depressed and not feeling like myself at all. I felt like I was grieving a loss of who I was. And I was really worried because I was like, is this how the whole pregnancy is going to be? Like, I'm literally sad that not that I'm pregnant. I'm just sad in general. Like, I was just like, my body's going to go away. Like, I'm going to change. I'm now a mom. I'm never not going to be a mom again until the day that I die, literally. And it was just a lot of emotions all at once. And I just wasn't sure how to feel. So imagine you get married to your best friend and you're so excited to start a married life and be a wife, and all of your emotions just go down the drain. Like, I felt like you married a fraud. And it was really emotional for me because I was like, I don't want him to think that this is just how I am.
Yeah.
I mean, you were with me for a while before we got married, so it wasn't like you knew who I was. You knew who you were marrying. But I just didn't feel like myself. And I was like, he's going to be so disappointed. He's going to think that he married the wrong person. Just like every negative thought was going through my mind because I didn't feel like myself. And I could see a difference. So I could only imagine what you were thinking and what you were feeling. And I put your emotions on me without you even telling me what they were. I was just like assuming how you felt because I was going based off of how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And it was really, really hard. It was really hard. I was just so sad and moody. And that was like the first couple weeks. I think it fizzled out a little bit. I still didn't feel like myself, but I think the sickness and food aversions kind of took over my emotions. Because at first I was eating fine. I was eating the way that I was eating before. And then I started to hate coffee, which I was obsessed with. Can't even stand the smell of it still to this day. I'm hoping it starts to go away, which usually after you're out of the first trimester, things start to go back to normal with like cravings and food aversions go away and all of that stuff. But I've been hating the taste of literally everything that I used to eat, which is really weird. Haven't had any weird cravings, but I've just felt really car sick all day long. That's the best way I can explain it. I haven't actually gotten sick. I've just felt really nauseous all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you have.
Asher hears, I just don't feel good all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been my experience. It has not been the best. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. The first trimester has literally sucked.
Yeah.
But I have heard from my cousin, my best friend, and the doctor that it's where my hormones are at. My hormones are normal. And usually when your hormones are normal, you just get car sick feelings. And then you get some food aversions. You can't really eat anything but literally carbs and fruit. And then after that, you start to feel better. So today is the first day that I have actually felt a little bit more like myself. I woke up in a good mood. Even before we went to the doctor, we found out that everything was okay. I was like in high spirits.
Yeah.
And then after seeing the little baby move around on the ultrasound today and just hear that everything's good and we're healthy and everything, it just kind of picked up my mood a little bit because anything can happen in those first 3 months. So I was just a little worrisome, but I think I told Asher on the way home, I think we're on the incline.
Yeah.
I think we're moving in the right direction now, and I think I'm starting to feel better.
Yeah.
So that's been my experience, but tell them what yours has been, honey.
Yeah, I mean, my experience has been just like Michelle said, terrible. And again, people may be like, that's selfish to say or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's your opinion, but also I'm not going to sugarcoat anything as well. You know, there's a lot of false information that goes on the internet. Mm-hmm. Some of these people that say pregnancy was great, they could also be lying through their teeth as well. And
it is a highlight reel.
Yeah. And, you know, with Michelle and us being pregnant so early on, you know, we were wanting to go on dates and then travel and do all this stuff. And then you find out she's pregnant, and then you're 3 weeks into marriage and she's crying in the bathroom over something she doesn't even know about. And the thing is for me, the reason why it's been so hard is because I always think it's my fault. Mm-hmm. And I've always been that way. I don't know. I'm still trying to unpack, you know, where I really get it from. But when she is upset, sad, depressed, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
I also get sad and depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like even more upset because I think it's my fault. And then I almost get mad at myself because I'm like, what could I have done for her to prevent this? And that's the toll that happened, not in a bad way, but something that her and I have had to navigate in our relationship.
Yeah.
Is she's had to reassure me, no, you didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like myself. There's a baby growing inside of me, and I'm sad, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's really hard to say that because in the back of my mind, I've also had people lie to me and say, it's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the back of their mind, it's, oh, yeah, it actually is your fault. You just don't want to confront it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I am very thankful and excited to have this child come out of my wife's body. And I don't take it for granted at all. But if you were to ask me, would you rather have your wife with no baby or your wife pregnant? Well, I'm going to take my wife not pregnant 100 days out of 100 days. You know, she doesn't act like herself. Like she doesn't. And I also want to say something real quick. Me saying I didn't marry the right person or me marrying a fraud has never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
It's never been a, wait, I married this person?
It's just my mind.
No. It's, I can't believe she's pregnant already. I made her pregnant, and this kind of sucks. Gonna have to get through this.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't see it being a problem with you saying, yeah, my wife being pregnant kind of sucks. I mean, guys, you literally lose your best friend for 3 months, because I don't know how the rest of this is going to go. But for the first 3 months, well, let me say it like this. You lose your best friend's energy.
Yeah.
That's what you lose.
Yeah.
You don't lose your best friend. You lose your
Yeah.
best friend's energy, which is very, very taxing. You know, when I would go to sleep, I still thought she was upset with me.
Yeah.
A lot of the nights. Because after we would pray, she's like, I just feel like crap. I want to go to bed. This sucks, essentially. And that's really taxing on your relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
like, the wedding night and then the first week-ish on our honeymoon, that's about all you and I got to experience with both of us in high spirits. And that's what we cling on to.
Yeah.
We're like, why can't we be like that?
Yeah.
And, well, you can't be like that because you're growing a human, so your
Yeah.
hormones are all out of whack. So
Yeah.
it's very taxing mentally to go through something like that. And yeah, that's just been my experience.
And I also want to say that it's okay
Yeah.
and it's normal that we felt this way. Like, the reason why we're sharing this is because we don't want
people to get like a false paradigm of like pregnancy is awesome. No, to tell you the truth, pregnancy sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The baby coming out is going to be amazing, but the process itself, yeah.
And some couples, maybe they enjoy the pregnancy. No, I definitely miss my wife and I having a glass of wine and then going into the bedroom and having some fun.
Yeah.
I definitely, while we're laughing and enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
No, I definitely miss that. It
Yeah.
really stinks that, you know, it's not the same right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where in the Bible God said, oh, you're going to love pregnancy.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily explicitly answer the question of are you going to enjoy pregnancy? But I don't know. You kind of like it's okay to not enjoy it. If your mom had cancer, I don't think you're going to enjoy her days of her having cancer because you miss what she used to be. So when she
Yeah.
gets cured, she'll be back to who she
Yeah.
used to be because
Yeah.
she's not tired all the time or whatever. This is a little bit, not as an extreme example because it's just pregnancy, it's not cancer, but it's kind of in the same way, just like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's dang, I don't really have my best friend's spirit that I'm used to having. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to say it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of women also just say like how upset they get and they feel bad for their husband like in that moment because they're like they know that they're not themselves, right? Like
Yeah.
my cousin said the same thing. She cried all the time. It was like, I'm a bad wife.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's going on. And I did that with you the other night.
Yeah.
I literally cried, couldn't stop crying. And I was just upset that you were having to go through this with me, you know, because like I already know how bad it feels from my end and I don't want it to rub off on you, you know? But yeah, we just pray that it gets better and I can get back to who I am, you know, and feel better within the next couple weeks. But we're not going to lie to you and sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
It's been really difficult. And I don't want any of this to come off as like being ungrateful for having a baby.
Yeah.
Because if you guys think that, then you don't know us at all.
Yeah.
We're so excited about this. It's just, this is the first one. I've never been pregnant before.
Yeah.
I've never been married before. Like we're navigating two of the biggest seasons people go through back to back.
Yeah.
At the same time, actually.
Yeah. This is just us being honest.
Yeah.
And real.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you can spin it however way you want to spin it.
Yeah.
But the last thing Michelle and I are going to say when the baby comes out, oh, I wish you didn't come out.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
In fact, everyone tells me, so my mom, just for background, my mom was actually vomiting, not just car sick feeling. She was vomiting her entire pregnancy with all three of us. And every single time one of us came out, she said, I will do it all again.
Yeah.
So I know it's going to be worth it. That's God's greatest miracle. And I was actually talking to my best friend today about it. And she said her husband said it best. And he said he didn't truly understand God's love for us until they had their baby, because now he knows how God feels about us, like in real time.
Yeah.
You know, like he loves that child unconditionally and with his whole being. And he didn't fully understand that until they had a baby. And I told her, I said, I already feel different. We are seeing this 2-inch baby on an ultrasound, all curled up, moving around, and I am obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And they're not even here yet.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't wait for December to come so
Yeah.
that we can just experience it and
Yeah.
cuddle them.
Yeah, that's also another thing I want to talk about is another reason why it's so hard for men during pregnancy is we didn't do anything and we're not doing anything. We are literally witnessing our wife be in pain and not themselves, and we feel nothing. And I know y'all are thinking, oh, well, the Bible says to be a provider, and this, I'm not talking about the Bible, guys. I'm talking about mentally, how it is mentally on men.
Well, you kind of feel helpless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Support your wife. Be the provider. I understand.
And that's what you're doing.
Yes. I understand all that. I don't. This is not a time where you thump people with Bible verses. Like, this is not a time for that. And I don't feel the baby at all. My excitement is completely different from Michelle's excitement. Michelle is witnessing the baby move around inside of her, and I'm over here like, that's great. I see it on the screen. I wish I could do something. I can't. I can't feed my wife a magic potion for her to feel better. I can do the dishes and make her food. And then even
and cuddle me.
Yeah. And then even doing that still doesn't make her feel better. She still feels sad and depressed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it on the men's side as well. I mean, you feel useless and helpless almost. Especially, this is what I want to add. You feel useless and helpless because all the stuff that I do for you now, I did already previously.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm doing the same while you're declining. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm like this and you're declining. And you going like this also makes me go like this.
Yeah.
So it's just it's not an easy season to navigate.
Yeah.
And the people that say it is easy, congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would argue and challenge you and say, are you sure you're not lying to yourself? But
Yeah.
also, I'm not here to judge anyone. But
yeah,
that's been my experience.
Yeah.
You know, you can put your opinions in the comments down below. If you have kids. If you don't have kids or you're not married, I really don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. No, I'll be completely serious.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're married in your 40s or whatever, I would love to hear your opinion or whatever. If you're in your 20s, you're not married, trust me, I really don't want to hear it. I'll be honest.
Well, you can't relate.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand anything until we were in this season.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, but there's been a lot of times where we're navigating I'm navigating my emotions, and like I get upset, I'm really sensitive about things, and it's just caused some friction, but we're navigating it. We're still so in love with each other.
Yeah, none of this to say, yeah, we're saying none of this in a way of like our relationship is declining.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying, guys.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying. I just
Yeah.
want to say that real quick.
Yeah.
Just to put that out
Yeah.
there.
We're still best friends.
Yeah.
We're still really glad we got married. I tell you that almost every night.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I married you.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying pregnancy takes an effect on a relationship. Not in a negative way.
Yeah.
Not in a positive way. It just affects the relationship. And you have to navigate that effect.
Yeah.
Effect doesn't always mean negative.
Yeah.
Effect can also mean positive. It can also mean nothing.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'll put a description out to you guys. So when water turns into a solid, ice, it's affected by it. It's not necessarily positive or negative. It just got affected by it. And that's the same thing with our relationship. It's not like something positive happened or negative happened.
Yeah.
It just got affected by something, and we have to navigate it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that the elephant in the room is now talked about, and no, I'm not really showing that much.
Yeah, no, she weighs the same.
No, that I was actually really sad. We went to the doctor. So we go to the doctor once a month, and she had the same weight this visit that she did last visit. And I literally thought I was going to gain so much because I've been eating so many carbs and like plain food. But yeah, so that's what has been going on with us. So yeah, we met, we got engaged, we got married, and we got pregnant all under a year. Asher and I just hit our 1 year talking anniversary, which was June 3rd.
Yep.
Today's the 12th.
Yep.
So we've been a couple days past that. And then we started dating on July 2nd. So that is where we're at. God has big plans for us that we were not expecting. And we're so excited. And we trust him completely in all of this. So we will have a little newest our wine hopefully on Christmas, if not somewhere around Christmas in December. So
yeah. Well, we love you guys. Catch you on next week on the tripod.